there, Trey Serna here with HISD Now. I am here with Superintendent Mike Miles again for, I was going to say thank you for joining us this morning, but we're actually joining you again
you're joining me on a ride.
Yes, for this ride along. I know we're on our way to, are we on our way to elementary school right now?
Marshall Middle School.
Marshall Middle School. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I want to talk to you about, there's a lot going on right now. So I want to talk to you about last week. Last week I saw you on Hello Houston. You were on Hello Houston. I know the week before that you were in Austin talking accountability.
Yep.
Talk to me about, as we're start testing just kicked off this week, talk to me about accountability, why it's so important, why the district really puts this at the forefront.
Yeah, so in the end of the day, we want an effective teacher for every child.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. And I think parents want their children to have effective teachers, and principals do, and teachers want to be effective. And so we have this evaluation system. We have one called T-Test right now, but next year we have a new evaluation system called TES, or Teacher Excellence System. Anyway, it's our belief that we can train the teachers, give them good supports, and they'll be better instructors. And then we assess that, we evaluate that.
Yeah.
And so accountability is about that, and it's about how well we achieve, how well our students achieve on STAR exams and other exams. And I know there's mixed feelings about exams, but in the end of the day, the question is, can your student read or do math at grade level? For elementary and middle school, that's what it is. For high school, it's more about, are we prepared for college or career? And so all of us need to be held accountable for those outcomes.
I mean, that sounds so easy. I mean, it's accountability. That's exactly what it is on all respects, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, in the end of the day, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Are we going to hold ourselves accountable for those outcomes?
As you're out talking about this, I know you were in Austin before state legislators. What are kind of the conversations you're hearing about accountability and kind of where the district is trying to go?
So the question is, does the state keep the A through F rating system rigorous and allow districts to publish those results and the state to publish the results? And I think that parents deserve to know whether a school is A-rated, which is like a letter grade, A, B, C, D, F, or F-rated. And regardless of whether it's good or bad, I think parents need to know that. And we need to know that. Principals need to know, so that if it's not good, we need to do something about that. If it's great, that's great, let's keep that going. And parents need to know so they can make choices if they want, or they can support the school. And so I think the A through F rating is a good thing, and I was testifying on behalf of that accountability system.
Wonderful. Switching gears a little bit, this week on HISD Now, we kicked off our Campus Close-Up series, where we're highlighting a school each week. We started off this week with River Oaks Elementary. A lot of great stories coming out from there. From your perspective, as we're highlighting these schools and their school communities and the great programs they have and just the campus culture, what do you hope that comes out of this new series that we're launching now? Yeah,
so we talk a lot about accountability, achievement, and those sorts of things, which are important. In the end of the day, though, a lot of the students, it's about the experience they have in the school and the parents' experience with teachers and principals and their campus.
Yeah.
I don't have any illusions. People don't think a lot about the district. They think about their school, their teacher, their kids, and their school. So that experience is what we want to show people. And we have great things going on in their schools. We have great kids, and they're having fun.
Yeah.
And they're doing different things. I hosted 3 girls, 4th grade girls, from River Oaks Elementary just a week ago.
Yes.
And they were great. And they were trying to convince the district, me, to get rid of the styrofoam trays and use bamboo trays or some other alternative, because styrofoam, when heated, produces some toxin benzene. So it was a great presentation, very persuasive, just like adults.
Yeah.
And so that was fun, and I think that you
Actually,
something on spelling bee. I mean, there's lots of things going on in schools that I think people sometimes don't realize, and I get a kick out of it too. even though the main job still is let's improve reading, writing, math, science, and get kids ready for year 2035. So somebody's got to stay focused on that, and that's what the team does.
I'm smiling a lot because I did talk to those girls about the styrofoam trays, and I can see exactly what you mean, how they were so well-spoken. It was like sitting here talking to you in the car, and the way they responded was just, and they weren't just responding as like, answers that they prepared. You could tell they were thinking critically about how they were answering and presenting what they were presenting.
I asked them some tough questions. I mean, they were there to persuade. And what they're asking for is a big deal. I mean, it can be expensive. We're going to do a pilot, by the way, and we're going to see the benefit cost ratio. But we have to think about the supply side. We have to think about, how do you get 1 million trays, which we use every few months, both breakfast and lunch. So there's a lot that goes into a decision like that. But they were very persuasive. They knew their facts. They knew the cost of trays. I was very impressed. And, they're passionate, but they're also well studied, in what they were talking about. This is a serious thing. It has huge impact, could have huge cost, but also huge benefit. And so it was a great lesson for people who want something done. How do you persuade, and how do you get your passion to be then received?
Yeah. And we will have that story on HISD now about the styrofoam trays. A lot of stories coming out of River Oaks Elementary as part of our Campus Close-Up series.
Oh, that's good.
So, and we're going to have plenty more stories on more campuses coming up next week, and we'll talk about those later. But as we're moving into the final weeks of the school year, the home stretch, if you will, what's on your mind right now? What are the end goals that we need to really be focusing on, kind of honing in on?
I talked to the principals and the executive directors about running through the finish. I mean, I know that this is a testing time of year. I mean, we take the STAR exam, then we take the NWEA, and I know there's a little bit of spring fever, but in the end of the day, it's 181 or 180 student-teacher contact days, and every day counts. And every day should be instructional. Every day should be one where kids learn. And every school day is one where kids experience a good learning environment. So we're not just popping in films. We're not just, saying, we're taking the test and now we're checked out. No, we're going to run through the finish. It's high-quality instruction for teachers through the last day of school.
Yeah. Not checked out, very much still checked in.
Checked in.
And speaking of checking in, right now we're headed toward Marshall Middle School. Again, this is part of your weekly visits. Last question here. When you do these weekly visits, again, being that it's the final stretch, is there something different that you're looking for in the sense of these visits than what if you would go maybe in the fall or in the beginning of the school year?
Yeah, my expectations, just like the expectations for teachers and principals, just go up towards the end of the year. In other words, in the beginning of the year, we know there are new teachers or inexperienced teachers or just people just trying to relearn some of the key strategies that help kids learn. And so we know there's a lot of coaching at the beginning of the year. Towards the end of the year, there's still coaching. Like I said, we're running through the finish. But teachers are more used to the strategies, and so we should see more effective teaching towards the end of the year than we would at the beginning of the year. And so my expectations are, this is a school day with instruction, and that's what I hope to see.
Wonderful. Well, as always, thank you for letting us ride along with you today. Really appreciate it.
Happy about that.
All right, and thank you for watching HISD Now.